dear students. I have been explaining you about the distance education in India, and the final part I will be explaining about the technology in the learning and the teaching process which is being followed in the distance education. This is a very important aspect in the present scenario, because you all know technology is been taking very lead role in every part of our day to day life, right from the admission process, our day to day life, in the commercial ventures or in the marketing side and the developmental side, engineering side, everywhere the day to day technology has been enhancing. Similarly, the education also, especially in the teaching and learning process, the technology is playing very important role, and the future course of learning and teaching is the technology based learning. Under this part of technology based learning and teaching, I will be explaining you about the what is ICT based learning, that is the information communication technology, and what are the advantages of the ICT based learning and teaching, and what are the constraints and what are the various methods. Under ICT, I will be again explaining you about the e-learning. These are the terminology which you are frequently listening about, the e-learning, online learning, web based learning. Similarly, I will be also explaining you what is the type of other alternative learning like mobile learning. Then I will be also explaining about the open educational resources, which is commonly called as a OERs. Then another popular nomenclature which is a very popular international level is called MOOC, MOOC, that is called Massive Online Open Courses. So, that is the latest advanced courses which is being very popularly taken away. This is the our today's syllabus of our class. I will be briefly starting with the ICT. What is ICT? First of all, let us know. ICT stands for Information and Communication Technologies and are defined as a diverse set of technological tools and resources. It is used for the communicate and the create and disseminate and also store and manage the information. So, thus it is having lot of wide scope in our teaching and learning process, and ICT has brought lot of changes in our the day to day education process, because ICT has the potential to remove the barriers that we are causing the problems low rate of education. As in the previous classes we told, the thrust of Government of India and in education sector is higher education enrollment, which we are standing very low rate. So, thus ICT is going to play very important role in providing flexible learning and also education at the doorstep to the students away. Similarly, ICT is also used as a tool to overcome the issue of cost. So, nowadays for establishing, I also told you the establishment of universities is a very huge expenditure in a financial point. So, at this point of view, the ICT will be very economically, at the same time providing education at the doorsteps of the students. Finally, ICT also helps overcome time and distance barriers. Suppose for any university, student has to go a long distance away every day to travel for day to day his lectures, and also it is taking lot of long distance and also time consuming process away. So, ICT, since it is providing education at the close steps, it will help away in removing this. Let us see what is the global level, how the ICT is been doing away. You know, the total population in the world is almost 7 billion people in the world. 1/3 are using the internet, and 45% of the world's internet users are below the age of 25 years. Similarly, there are 5.9 billion mobile cellular subscriptions, almost 75% of the people of the 7 billion people are having the mobile phones. Almost it is a 87% of the global penetration. And even in India, which is having 120 crore population, it is becoming the second largest wireless network in the world after the China. So, thus the technology communication is playing very important role, not only in India and China, and the entire world they are having the mobile technology, ICT technology. So, under ICT, what are the items they are going to cover? Under ICT, mostly they are covering about the teleconferencing, emails, audio conferencing, television lessons and broadcast radiocast, and then about the interactive radio counseling, interactive voice response system, audio cassettes and CD-ROMs, laptops wirelessly connected to the internet, personal digital assistants, and 3G cell phones and the present latest models of tablet PCs etc. These will be the useful in the ICT based learning. Now, let us see what are the advantages in the ICT in education. ICT is having lot of advantages, especially in the field of education. That is, first one is the flexibility of content and delivery. Second one is the combination of the work and education, that means earn while learn. So, any student want to learn while he is earning, he can do it away using the ICT. Higher quality of education and new ways of interaction, development of new learning culture and increased access. There are some more advantages also, like increasing in the capacity and cost effectiveness of the education and training. Similarly, to ensure the connection of educational institutions, if the student want to know what is happening in the other institution also, using the ICT he can able to learn what are the various subjects are being taught away. And further, it is to promote opportunities of lifelong learning, because ICT helps away for at any age, even at the age of 70 years one can become a participant, one can become a student, because education is provided at his convenient place. And then improving the efficiency of educational administration and management. For example, in educational administration online you need not take the hard copies away. So, soft copies like online admission process, online payment basis, online communication, online correspondence, all these matters can be easily taken care in the case of the ICT based learning and teaching. Then why it is required? Need of technology in education, because it increases the proficiency in accessing and evaluation, especially in evaluating the performance it will be very easy, increasing the quantity and quality of the students thinking and writing, because I told you the higher education enrollment is less. So, the number of enrollment can be easily increased at the same time without compromising the quality aspects of teaching and learning. Improving the students' ability to solve the complex problem, because these are having the animation, multimedia, graphics away in teaching process, it will be very much self-explanatory and more informative for the sake of the students, and providing access to the high level and high interest courses. So, they can sit at their convenient place and they can able to go through the various courses available across the world and across the globe. So, furthermore, details about ICT as a learning tool, how it is. So, under ICT learning tool, we are having the e-learning, then blended learning, then constructivism, then learner centered learning environment. And let us see what are those things. Based upon the teaching methodology, that is called pedagogy in traditional versus of information society, we are having the active learning, collaborative learning, creative learning, integrated learning and evaluative learning. These are the types of the learning which we are being involved away, so that the students can able to acquire the information not only individually, but also along with the group or community of the students. So, the first point I was explaining e-learning. What is e-learning? The e-learning is a program that makes use of an information network such as internet, and internet having the LAN, the lateral area network, or extranet wide area network for course delivery, interaction and on our facilitation. Web based learning is a subset of e-learning and refers to the learning using the internet browser such as mobile, Blackboard or Internet Explorer. So, thus e-learning is a very much used with the help of a gadgets which will be providing a type of concept for the benefit of the students, and the web based learning is the subset of the e-learning. Blended learning. Blended learning refers to learning models that combines the face to face classroom and also the e-learning solutions, that is a combination of both classroom and the e-learning. For example, a teacher may facilitate student learning in the case of class and contact the users, the Moodle. There is a software called Moodle, that is full name is called Modular Object Oriented Dynamic Learning Environment. So, this is a Moodle software, using that a teacher can have a combination of both classroom and also e-learning environment. Then third, I was explaining you constructivism. It is also a paradigm of learning that assumes learning as a process individual as a construct. That means, a new knowledge based on their prior knowledge and experience. So, new innovative development using their previous knowledge, that is known as a constructivism. So, this is also in the case of using technology based. Then in case of the management side, that is called learning management, what are these terminologies we are using commonly? One is the learning content management system, which is a very commonly call it as a LCMS, and LCMS provides an application, a data repository, a delivery interface and administrative tools. The authoring tools provide templates and storyboarding capabilities and may be used to convert the existing content. Example, collaboration tools including chat, integrated email and threaded discussion groups. So, these are the learning management. That means, any group of students, it will help them to interact with each other, and one student can interact with a number of teachers, and this teacher can interact with the co-teachers and also the students simultaneously. This is called as a learning content management system. This is a software that automates the administration of training. The LMS registers users, track courses in a catalog, records data from learner and provides reports to the management. I will just give some more information in a very simple way about this learning management system and automation. Usually when we are doing the learning management system, we need three components. One is the automation, second one is the content development, and third one is the using the automation, using the content, learning management system will be there. So, these are the three components which is totally called it as a e-learning. The first one is a automation, where internet is not required. It is usually a software based upon the .NET about the student admission process, then marks, then results declaration, all software component is uploaded in the software of the server system. Then content development means the book which we are having, as I told you that the self learning material, that will be converted into the e-learning. How e-learning will be converted, that I will tell you in my later course of action, but using the e-content which is of the hard copy of the content converted to e-content, the development is called as a content development. So, now we are having the automation software and content is available. Now, this content should be transferred to the students. The mechanism of transferring the content to the students using the automated system and also the using the e-content, and the system is called as a learning management system. So, that is called LMS, learning management system. So, these unless and these three are not available, we cannot able to develop the e-learning system. So, thus using the software, using the e-content, we can able to interact with number of students. For this LMS, internet is a compulsory. Without internet, LMS cannot be possible. So, thus hope I think you understood what is the e-learning of the mechanism. Let us go further ahead. Depending upon the type of learning environment, these are been with various categories of learning environment. One is the active learning and collaborative learning. In a traditional way, what we call, and what is in the ICT language what we call. Active learning in traditional pedagogy, activities prescribed by teachers, whereas the in case of ICT, activities determined by the learners, because we already known that it is a learner based content. Then it is a whole classroom instruction in the case of the traditional one, whereas in the emerging pedagogy, small groups. So, every small groups, classroom is divided into small group and every attention is being paid to the small group, so that the group can able to receive more and more information, whereas in the traditional group only limited the total students will be there and they will be receiving the uniformly away. So, there will not be any a particular attention in the smaller groups, but whereas this is possible in the emerging technology. Similarly, what is collaborative aspect of learning? Under traditional, it is only individual, whereas in the case of teams. Similarly, in the case of the traditional, the collaborative learning is a homogeneous, similar class students should be there, whereas in the emerging, even the heterogeneous group is there, they can able to understand this. Everyone, him or himself also should be present and supporting each other in case of the pedagogy. Then there is a third one of the learning environment is the creative learning environment. It is a reproductive learning, whereas in the emerging it is a productive learning. Similarly, in the integrative learning, the fourth one is the no link between theory and practice. Whatever I am teaching the theory, there is no link, practicals will be something different. Whereas in the emerging pedagogy, there is integrative theory between theory and the practice. Similarly, evaluative learning, it is a traditional pedagogy, whereas in the emerging pedagogy, it is a of the information and society is having the latest information. So, thus it is a type of learning concept, type of learning environment we have known. Now, let us also go little ahead away, but before to that we want to further emphasize why we need the technology in education, the necessity of the technology in education. Technology actually enhance the art of teaching. Accessibility for special needs of students, makes a variety of courses available to all, helps students gain a global perspective. For students who live in remote areas and cannot easily find books, for them it will be very good, and takes the students to the places where they never visit in person and making learning mobile. So, always when they are moving also learning can be possible away. So, like this there are vast advantages are there in the e-learning away or in the technology based learning. So, there are we need this type of ICT based learning. So, how the methodology in the technology based learning, I will just go in a primary part of away. These are the some of the aspects which will be technology methodology is being used. One is a cloud computing, then mobile learning, that I will be explaining how mobile learning goes away. Then tablets, nowadays tablets are very frequently available. So, tablet computing. Then I already told you about MOOCs, MOOCs, massive online open courses, which is a emerging trends of the present scenario. Then I will be also explaining about open educational resources. Then there is a very specialized learning, call it as a ubiquitous learning, learning anywhere by any person, that is ubiquitous learning. Then of course, games and gamification for a case of smaller level, 3D printing and virtual remote laboratories. So, these are the methodology parts away which have been available in the case of the learning technology and the learning and teaching process away. Emerging technology for teaching and also learning, because most of the effective part in the case of the technology based learning is simulation. For example, if I am explaining about the ammonia or in the case of blood circulation, simulation of the technology part will plays very important role, how the blood circulation moves from heart to the various veins and various body parts. That simulation effect is only possible in the case of the technology based, whereas in the traditional it is not possible away. Similarly, smart objects will be using social network. Whatever lectures you are listening in the technology, you can able to send it the same lectures using the social network like Facebook and other aspects which are you are having. Then tablet computing. Tablets are very much useful nowadays very commonly and they are available with a very cheaper cost away. So, all the e-content can be uploaded either in the form of PDF form or in the form of audio form or in the form of the video form, can be uploaded tablets. Instead of giving books, the tablet can be handed over to the students, so that at their convenient time, at the convenient place, they can go through this learning process which is available in the tablets away. Similarly, virtual worlds. So, virtual world is virtual laboratories, virtual classrooms are available. So, any lecture which is going in the main campus, if you are sitting in the outside campus, you can able to access those classes away. So, what is happened in India? So, these are the little background of technology aspects of environment and types and methodology of the technology. Before we go to the details of individual aspects of e-learning and ICT learning and mobile learning, we will see what is the development is being taken place in India. IGNOU is using the technologies in case of broadcast, telecast and online system for delivery of program. You all know Indira Gandhi National Open University is one of the largest distance education universities established in the year 1985, and this is having nearly more than 100 regional centers and 2000 study centers across the country and across the globe. So, there the use of technology is very much pertinent, very much required away. So, they are widely using this technology for broadcasting their lectures. Then Government of India and Ministry of Human Resource Development also initiated the following 3 projects for extending the classroom lectures, tutorials and even evaluation facilities even in the conventional system. So, mostly these are the IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies, and other university systems, they also developed some e-learning part away. And for example, that is one of the component which is they have developed is a National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning, popularly known as NPTEL. Similarly, it is also nation has developed another mission, call it as a National Mission on Education through ICT, that is called NME-ICT. So, the government of India is spending 5,000 crores on this NME-ICT project for converting the traditional courses into the e-learning courses. Then in order to connect these courses, accessibility of these courses, the government of India MHRD is developing a national knowledge network, that is called NKN. And how this NME-ICT and NPTEL they are developing the project and how they are accessible, that will go in further slides. Before we go to the further details of e-learning, I was also explaining you there are some limitations also, of course. I listed only a few of the limitations which will be having constraints. Students may be easily distracted from their learning and may visit unwanted sites away. So, the students who will be going through the ICT, all of a sudden their attention will be diverted and they may go to the unwanted sites away. So, there they will be losing the concentration. Similarly, computer based learning has negative physical side effects such as vision problem. So, most of the students when they are spending much time in the case of the computer based learning, they will be losing the physical ability and some vision problems may likely to come, not for all, maybe some. Students tend to neglect their learning resources other than the computer and internet. There are other as I told you that blended learning and other traditional learning. So, they will be not be showing interest on those things. And students, since mostly depending upon the internet, superficial presentation and copying from the internet, that is also possible. Then students may have less opportunity to use oral skills and handwriting, because of the presence of the ICT, the writing part will not be practiced much. So, they will be detached from the handwriting and other skills. Then over reliance on ICT limits students for critical thinking. For everything, if I want, I can refer in a Google. So, that is why the thinking capability, the innovative practice, the research ability may be also going away, of course, but thinking about the advantages of the ICT, these are comparatively very lesser extent which will be extracting away, because when the whole world is going for an ICT based learning and teaching, and we should also be constantly update our knowledge and with the ongoing technologies away, so that we can able to go the India can able to become a further country of the developed nation away. Presently, it is under developing nations. So, technology, no doubt we cannot ignore it away, but at the same time we should very cautiously use away this technology based for our day to day life. Thank you.